Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, as promised and requested by a lot of you, I am sharing what I wore in Scotland and why. And of course, anything that's still available, I will have listed for you below in the description box, but I definitely got some requests to see my outfits once I started posting a few of them on Instagram. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, be sure to follow me on Instagram. My name's right here and I'll put it below. I did say I was going to Scotland recently, which we did. We just got back a couple weeks ago. I also have a vlog from that I will put up here in a card, and I will also link that below for you. So be sure to check that out. Just kind of gave an overview, of what we did, what we saw. We were there approximately about 9 or 10 days. Stayed with family and took, some short road trips and just saw a lot of things. I said I would do like a Q&A, or if you guys had questions about the trip, because in the vlog footage, I thought about doing like a voiceover and kind of sharing more what we did. But that just got kind of too complicated and been way too long. So I thought, you know what, I'll do a separate video just sharing, where we went, where we stayed, what we ate, all that kind of stuff. So if you have specific questions, be sure to leave me a comment below and I will try to get to them. And again, I'll make that separate video kind of sharing a little bit more in depth. So as far as what I wore, I'm just gonna go through my pictures here. I tried to take outfit pictures every day or every time, we went somewhere different, just to kind of give you an idea. Just to let you know about the weather, because I know that's always a big question when just traveling anywhere, but especially like to Scotland. I had done some research prior to and talked to people, and of course our family lives there. Scotland weather is very unpredictable. Like most of the UK right now, they're actually having a heat wave, and that started like right after we left, which I'm glad we weren't experiencing. I don't think it would have felt like Scotland if it would have been hot there. Because matter of fact, I think Scotland just had like record-breaking temperatures the other day. So when we were there, they'd actually had nice weather right before we brought in a cold front. So it was a little chillier and a little more rainy than we were expecting. We did know that, it rains often and it would be chilly. And again, during my research and talking to people, a lot of people compare it to Alaska. And as most of you know, we did go to Alaska last year. We went on a cruise. And so I kind of knew in my mind I was going to be dressing similar, style and for the weather. So you'll see that theme along here in these pictures, and again, I'll talk you through it. So that was in the back of my mind because again, the weather's very unpredictable there. It could be warm one day, cool the next. So you kind of have to dress in layers and prepare for everything. So this is my first outfit here that I wore. We were just walking around town that day, and I think we were going to dinner later. It had been raining, so it was one of those. Shoes were definitely something I thought of on this trip as what can I get wet but still be comfortable, somewhat still attractive, because I don't need a lot of things like that here where I live in Alabama. It does rain a lot in the spring sometimes, but when you're going to be walking a lot, you need comfort. So I specifically bought these Echo shoes, knowing they would go with a lot of things. They'd be comfortable. I could wear them in the fall because I often need like a black shoe in the fall where I live with jeans. Speaking of jeans, these have been like your favorite seller of mine, my #1 bestseller for like 3 months in a row. I just ran June's report and they were #1. They are on sale right now. Hopefully they still are, but I posted, I think, on Instagram this picture and mentioned they were 25% off, so definitely grab them. Absolutely loved these. I wore these a couple of times in Scotland. I just wore like a lightweight sweater. I think I had a tank on under this. It was funny, I think this is the exact sweater I wore getting on the ship in Alaska the first day that was a little cool in Seattle. This is a great lightweight sweater. I think it's from Loft. They often have very similar styles. My bag will look familiar if you watched any of my like what to pack for Alaska or our Alaska cruise vlog. I love this crossbody because I can fit a lot in it, but #1 is I can get it wet. It's nylon. I didn't bring any of my nice bags with me, except for my Louis Vuitton Neverfull that I actually used as a carry-on on the airplane. I did bring, I think, one little, my pouch that goes with that, like the pouch that goes in the Neverfull, so if I could use, as a evening out bag, and I did bring my Tory Burch little black bag. Again, it was leather, so I'm not worried about that as much, but for during the day, I knew I wanted something that I wouldn't worry about. So this bag is great. So this jacket, I'm so happy I bought this jacket. Again, this was something in prepping for going to Scotland I bought back earlier in the spring. I happened to get this one on sale. It's a Michael Kors. I'm not sure if they have the exact one anymore, but I will list several that I've seen are very similar. Number one, and I said this in Alaska, and it definitely goes for Scotland as well, buy a rain jacket with a hood. Because, you know, it could start sprinkling or kind of sprinkling a little hard at any moment, and you can just flip that hood up. I mean, we did this constantly when we were walking around. So definitely a rain jacket with a hood. Matter of fact, as I'm thinking about this, I think we walked down to the train station, and this is the day we're going to Glasgow. And we did like a hop-on, hop-off bus tour, and we did the escape room, which was fun. It ended up being fun. When my sister-in-law first told me that's where we were going, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to do that, but it all worked out and it was great. And we went to dinner that night at a nice Italian restaurant. And again, I'll talk more about that in that other video, but I just remember that's where we were going. And I love jackets like this because I unzipped it here so you could see my sweater, but most of the time I wore it zipped up. And I love, I wanted it dark color because I thought that way it would look a little sleeker. I have a red one that I wore in Alaska that's much thinner than this one. You know, you can put on jeans, pants, whatever. You can have anything on underneath it. And if you have like just a nice navy or dark raincoat, it just looks very sleek and put together all the time. So the next day, I actually posted this picture on Instagram. We were going on like a little weekend road trip, driving up through the Highlands and stopping at a few different places. I had seen this castle several times on the internet, and unfortunately the day we went, it was raining. So it was pretty because it's a pink castle, but I don't think you got the full effect that I've seen it in other shots when the weather's beautiful, or I've even seen it when it's been snowing. So this was the only outfit picture I got that day because we were in the car a lot. It rained the whole day. Again, that jacket, I mean, this is like the star of the trip here. I think I went ahead and wore, because we were going to be in the car, those green jeans again, but I put on my Sperry duck boots. These things I love. I was kind of on the fence about bringing them. I knew I needed some kind of boot for rain. I didn't want to bring my hunters because they're very heavy and they take up a lot of room, and just sometimes they're not as comfortable. These were extremely comfortable in Alaska, and I've worn them since around here when it's been snowing or raining. So I knew these were super comfortable, and yet they're kind of stylish a little bit too. I mean, they're casual, but they're comfortable is the main thing. Because I'm one of those people, I can rarely wear the same pair of shoes 2 times in a row on vacation when I'm walking a lot. It doesn't matter. They could be the most comfortable pair of shoes on earth. My feet will hurt. So I kind of have to switch out a little bit. So anyway, that's about the only picture I got of that next day. And again, we were just kind of road tripping a little, went out and saw a couple of castles. So the next day, it was a nicer weather. The weather finally broke that day. So about the first 4 days we were there, it rained. And finally, like I said, I think Sunday, you know, we got there like on a Wednesday or something. Sunday, the weather broke and it was great afterwards. So I wore this, and again, we went to see a couple castles. We're road tripping to St. Andrews, and it was nicer weather, but I knew where we were going to be walking around and stuff. I needed to have some nice shoes. So again, I brought out the Sperry Boots because you can see we were on a beach. This was Aberdeen Beach, and you know, it was just comfortable. I wore this really lightweight J. Crew sweater, which is kind of a vacation staple for me. And then this jacket, you've seen this jacket a ton. I bought this several years ago at Old Navy. They often come out with similar ones. I've also linked some similar ones from Nordstrom and other places, so I will put that. It kind of is one of those jackets that always travels with me. So it's more lightweight. I knew it wasn't going to rain that day, so I didn't have to worry about the rain jacket. So took advantage of that, and then just some jeans. So once we got to St. Andrews and I saw that the weather was clearing, I switched out of my Sperry Boots because they just felt a little too rugged, and again, it wasn't raining. I switched into my trusty pink loafers. You guys know I love these shoes. The only thing with these is you really don't want to get them wet because they are suede, and the bottoms are kind of like a driving moccasin, so they're not a full rubber bottom, but they're so comfortable, perfect for walking around. We walked around the you know, the course there, and I even wore them to dinner that night. So speaking of dinner, I don't know if I got a picture without my jacket on, but basically I just had on a black shirt. I know I wore this top, I think the first night to dinner in Alaska. It's just a cute bell sleeve knit top. They often have something similar, if not the same thing, so I'll see what I can find. We were eating at the hotel. It's like a French bistro, so you know, we wanted to dress up a little bit more, but nobody really dresses up there. You know, it's still a very casual environment. So I brought these black pants with me. They're pretty much my vacation staple. They go with everything. I love that they're ankle length, so if you want to wear a cute shoe, you can. And I wanted to bring these loafers as a pop of color. A lot of my casual flat shoes are either not comfortable to walk a long distance in, or they're just not meant you know, to really get wet or anything. I have a lot of casual flats, but these I knew, you know, I could pop on for those nights just wearing to dinner or something. And we actually ended up walking around town. I loved it. St. Andrews is the cutest little town. And of course it stays daylight until like 10:30 at night. So even after dinner, you know, getting out of dinner at like 9 or something, we walk down the street and just, you know, cute little quiet streets, and great for walking around after dinner. So I threw on this jacket because I had on all black, so I wanted to put on the black jacket even though it wasn't gonna rain. I had brought my Tory Burch as just a clutch at dinner, but what's great about this purse, and I love, is it has an attachable strap. So I just threw that on it, and that way I could carry it, you know, and be hands-free for walking around. So this was just cute. Again, after dinner outfit. Walked around, looked at some just scenery and cute things. And again, that's such a cute town. So honestly, St. Andrews was probably one of my favorite stops on the whole trip. So the next day we were leaving St. Andrews, but we walked around like the cathedral and just different areas. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day, but it got a little windy. We saw that it was going to be pretty windy, so I'm not sure how everybody's golf game was that day because the winds were pretty crazy. But again, beautiful day. So I did layer up a bit. I took my scarf. This is a Stella & Dot scarf. I love the weight of their scarves. A lot of them are really thin, but they're long. You've probably seen me take this one before on cruises, and I usually take it on the airplane a lot of times. So I have my jacket on again, and this is something that's kind of a travel thing with me too. I just have on a white t-shirt. With that white t-shirt has been one of your favorites as well. That's been a top seller for me for a few months. That goes on vacation with me pretty much every time. I can layer with it, wear it by itself. And then this denim J. Crew shirt. I've had this shirt for years, and I remember when I first bought it, it was expensive, and I was like, God, that's a lot of money for a chambray shirt. Well, I've had it so many years now, and it's one of those that does not go out of style, and I've used it so much that it's paid for itself over and over. So this is something that I wore, I remember, in San Francisco, a similar outfit. I can layer that denim shirt over a long sleeve t-shirt, over a tank, over a t-shirt. I can tuck it in. You know, I kind of use it almost like as a jacket. So I love that shirt. This is a bunch of layers that day because, again, it was beautiful weather, but a little windy and a little chilly. I mean, I'm talking it was probably like 50 degrees that day. And with the wind, that's pretty cool. And if you think about it, you know, 50s is relevant. Sometimes 50 feels warm, sometimes it feels cool. Well, where I live, 50 is winter time. That's our average high, is about 51 degrees in the winter. Yeah, I wore I was gonna say I can't see my shoes, but yeah, I wore the Echoes that day. Because again, I wanted to switch out. I'd been wearing the Sperry's. And again, if it's not raining, even though the Sperry's are very comfortable, I try to wear something else. So, and again, the trusty bag. So today was going to be riding in the car, you know, looking around, and then we were on our way to Edinburgh. Now, me and my husband were just spending the night there. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law went back to their house. They were just dropping us off. So once we got there, it was extremely windy again. We went to see the castle and everything, and it was like super windy. I mean, the wind was almost like lifting me off my feet on top of the castle. So that was a great outfit. Again, I knew once we got in Edinburgh to walk around and just eat dinner. I think I didn't take a picture of my dinner outfit that night, but again, changed into the pink shoes. We just went a couple doors down and had pizza from our hotel. The next day, I just decided to wear that denim shirt again. We were leaving late that afternoon on the train back to their house, but it was a little cooler, so that black raincoat I have is a little bit heavier and nicer, and then you never know if it's gonna rain. So again, it has the hood. I spent the night. The next day, I think this was the day before we were leaving, we just ventured out and around, not too far out from where they live, went to like a really cool pub in this old like inn and saw some waterfalls and things like that. So I just wore a long sleeve. So I just wore one of my Wild Fox sweatshirts, and again, I wasn't worried about what I had underneath because I knew I was going to wear this jacket and I'd been zipping it up, so you barely saw anything under it. So the rain jacket, and then I did have on a sweatshirt, like a tank top and a sweatshirt on under that one that day, and wore my Sperry Boots because again, they're just so comfortable. I have gotten so much use out of those boots. I'm telling you, they were probably one of the best things I've ever purchased because, I mean, honestly, I could wear them around here in the summer or spring with shorts and they look cute because, you know, they're just kind of that preppy, cute style. And again, I brought some cute things to wear like for dinners and stuff at night, but ended up being chillier and mostly all you saw was my jacket. So I didn't even bother with a lot of that, you know. So the key was definitely jackets and layering and comfortable shoes. If I lived in a climate where I had more weather like that, I would have definitely had other options I would have considered for shoes. But because I live in the South and I don't have to worry about that a lot, you know, I didn't want to buy something that I was not going to wear again. So I will list everything I can below that's still available. Be sure to follow me on Instagram because I have posted some pictures there. Be sure to leave me your questions for the upcoming Q&A video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future videos. I'd love to have you back, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.